Hello, book besties. Brianna Sanchez here, your next favorite romance author. Today, we are going to be discussing my March reading wrapped up. Okay, let's get into it. So, as always, I will be having Fable opened up on my phone to tell you my exact ratings. So, in the month of March, I read 13 books, which is a great month. It is not as many as I read the last 2 months, but it was still at a really good pace. I was surprised I actually read that many. Let's start with my physical books, like always. I started off by reading Romeo and Juliet. Look at this, guys. Look at the beauty. I got this exactly a year ago at the Shakespeare store in Paris. It's like a collection that they have there. Looking inside at the bookstore and inside the book, they have like a bunch of other cover remakes of Shakespeare's plays. So I do want to get them. Next time I go to Paris, I'm going to get them there. So yeah, and they even stamped it. Just wanted like a classic love story for that month. But anyways, it was good. I wouldn't even like consider rating it, but I'm just going to say 5 stars because it's one of your classic love stories, which I love. Moving on to Just Friends by Haley Pham. This is Haley Pham's debut novel. Apparently, she is a booktuber, an influencer, super famous, and I had no idea who she was until this book came out. Everyone was talking about it. There is some major controversy with this right now. Some people are like, this is horribly written, and other people are like, guys, this is her first novel. Like, you need to give her a break. I have to say that I agree with those people. I think it's her first novel. You need to cut her some slack. I ended up rating that 3.5, and I have to say I think she did a great job. I think it was a great debut novel. The story was there, but it didn't like have me like dying to turn the page or like wanting to know anything else. And honestly, like if I didn't know this was her debut novel, I might not read her work again. But since it is, I definitely will. Like I said, great book. I would recommend reading it if you're into Haley Pham. I don't think I would necessarily recommend this to someone like to have a great romance book unless they just like your typical fluffy Hallmark romance stuff. Moving on. Do you remember I said I'm either going to read this side or this side? Well, I went with the Fourth Wing side, and I am so happy I did. I will never look back. I can't believe I'm in like my romanticy era, and I'm just loving this so much, guys. Like, you have no idea. I rated book 1 5 stars. I rated book 2 4.5. I think I was being a little picky. I think I want to change my rating to a 5 star. I rated book 3 a 5 star. And then, like, if I wanted to be picky, maybe I'd do 4.75, but I think I'd go with a 5. Series overall, a 5 star. So I would totally recommend this to anyone that will listen. And it's so funny how many people recommend this to me, and I was like, yeah, okay, it's Fourth Wing, like I get it. No, I didn't get it. It's amazing. If you haven't read Fourth Wing, you need to go read it right now. It's truly, truly amazing. This was my gateway book to romantasy. If you don't like romantasy and you want to try to get into it or just read something new, read this. This is so good. I truly have nothing else to say. I did a reading vlog for book 1 and then another reading vlog for books 2 and 3. So go check those out if you haven't already. And yeah, go read Fourth Wing. Like, what are you doing if you haven't read it yet? Stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to talk about my April hopefuls, and we're going to see if I dive into a new romantasy series. Okay, so those are all the physical books I had read this month. I was very proud of myself. Kindle wise, I only read 1, but I technically read all of these on the Kindle as well because I went back and forth. Depending if I was like tired at night or if I went to the beach or if I was in the car, I read this on my Kindle for the most part. But otherwise, I was just reading the physical copy as well. So now let's move on to the one Kindle book I did read. That was End by Evia Carmine. I hope I'm saying your name right. But Evia reached out to me, and she is such an amazing writer. I actually reached out to her first because I wanted her to read my book. And then she was like, yes, will you read my book too? So we kind of did like a fun little even exchange there. I did rate her book a 3 stars. I will say that she is a fantastic writer. She's going to go so far. I felt like the book was lacking for me a little bit in certain parts. I do love a fluffy romance, but this was like a YA. And I think at times, like, I felt disconnected to the characters because I couldn't really relate. And then the main character has like periodic amnesia, and that's like everyone's least favorite trope. She actually like put that in one of her videos, and I was laughing so hard because I'm like, that's so true. But that, not specific disease, but like a type of amnesia, Alzheimer's runs in my family. So it's just something that it was like really hard for me to read at times, but I got over it. I was like, no, this is just a book. It was good. I definitely can see like her potential as a writer and see that she's gonna like go very far. And this was a very good debut novel. Yeah, there was just like a couple of things that maybe like the ending I didn't feel like was fully it didn't fully like end for me, if that makes sense. No pun intended. I'm not gonna spoil it. You guys should go read. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and leave her a review. Go check out this new author. She's amazing. Yeah, moving on to my audiobooks. So I started off with Best Offer Wins by Marissa Cashino. So good. I rated that a 4.5. I thought this was hilarious. I thought it was very not relatable. It's not something I've ever experienced, but I thought it was relatable. It was this girl who is dying to have this dream house. Like she didn't have one like this growing up, and she's having like infertility issues. So she kind of feels like this is going to solve her problem, relieve like the stress from her that's causing the infertility. And then once she moves in, like everything's going to be perfect, but it just doesn't go to as planned because she becomes like an extremist about needing this house and kind of goes crazy. At the end, she ends up committing a murder, and that's not relatable at all, but it ends up being really funny because so I thought this was just going to be like a romance book where the way it was described to me, where people are like bidding on this house, they're going back and forth, they're trying to like win the house, and maybe they fall in love and live there together. No, this was a comedic thriller. Okay, I think I have a new love for comedic thrillers because I realized like this is the second or third one I've read, and I've liked all of them. So go read. So good. Next, I listened to My Friends by Frederick Bachman. This is my third Frederick Bachman book, and it is by far my favorite. This was a 5-star read for me for sure. Definitely go listen to it. It's about this guy who is a famous artist, and on his last day on earth, he is painting this mural with this girl that he just like finds next to him on the street. They paint together, and she doesn't know that he's about to die. But I think later that day or the next day after he dies, his friend comes and finds that girl at the same spot and gives her this famous artist's painting that she now has the ability to sell for like millions of dollars. So it's this beautiful story because she is also like striving to become an artist. And the whole book also takes place about this girl and his friend like talking, having these conversations, and he's like giving her the full story of like how they became friends and like what their friend group was like and like what the meaning behind the picture that she inherited was. So it's just a beautiful story. Frederick Bachman has this way of like storytelling that is so real and beautiful. I have nothing else to say about it. Kill for Me, Kill for You was next on my list by Steve Kavanaugh. I rated that a 3-star. I thought I was gonna like it more than I did. The plot twist at the end was like, okay, that's a good plot twist, but it wasn't great. That was my point of view. It's not what I thought it was gonna be. I think I was a little lost at times. It definitely fell flat for me, but it was still a good story. The idea was there. Next, I listened to My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. This is my first Alice Feeney book. It was good. It wasn't great. I actually made the mistake of doing like the immersive audio, and this is a thriller, and I was just like terrified. When she was running, you could hear the footsteps. When she dropped something, you could hear that. Then at the end, that like the daughter that was like in a mental institution had like a really creepy voice, and they made that voice. It was horrible. No, I'm sure a lot of people like that. It was a good book, but I wasn't excited throughout the whole thing at all. And then at the end, I really wasn't either. I don't even remember what the plot twist was, to be honest, and it just was recent. It just wasn't great for me. Next, I listened to Hexed in the Never After series, so that means I am officially done with the Never After series. That was book 6. It is a Little Mermaid retelling, and I rated that a 4 stars. I really liked it. I probably liked it like second most in the series, Hooked being my first favorite. And I don't know, I found myself really liking the way that she decided to tell like Ursula's love story instead of Ariel's. And I feel like she used a lot of Disney references in this book compared to like other ones. Like maybe other ones do, and I just don't know them as well. Like I love The Little Mermaid, so maybe I was paying more attention. But it was great. 4 star for me. I actually didn't rate any book in the series a 5 star. I wasn't obsessed with any of them, but they were all great. I loved the fact that it was a Disney retelling with dark romance. Like, that is such a cool idea. Anyways, next I listened to The God of the Woods. Totally fell flat for me. I was about to rate this a 1 star, but once I heard the end, I was like, okay. I rated it a 2.75. I did not love it. The end was like, this whole time, this girl we're looking for that disappears at the beginning of the book was actually wanting to leave. Like, she's the one that purposely left. I thought that was so weird. And then the police officer that found her didn't even like say anything to anyone, just let her be. And I'm like, that's great. That's what she wanted, but that's it. Like, that's what I was listening to this whole book for. It fell flat for me. Lastly, I listened to Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid does not miss. That is a 5 star read for me. I have never rated a book of hers less than 5 stars. She's amazing. I finished listening to that in 2 days. It was so good. I couldn't stop listening to it. It's about this girl, and she gets married to a guy within 6 months, and he never tells his mom that he gets married. And so, about a week after their wedding, he dies. And so now she's like, well, I'm the one that needs to inherit everything. And it's not that she necessarily needs it. She just like kind of wanted a few of his things. And nobody believes that they're married at first because there's no marriage certificate, it hasn't come in the mail yet, and all these different things. And so you also get like flashbacks onto how they became together. So you can hear like their story and how very real it was and like why they fell so fast in love. And it's a beautiful love story. And it's even more of a beautiful story because the mom that he left behind was also a widow. So they have this in common where they're both widows, and she has like no family really in her life. So they become each other's family. And it's just like such a beautiful story. It was a little bit heartbreaking. I didn't sob to this one like I have for every other Taylor Jenkins Reid book, but I did like tear up at times. So it was beautiful. It got me already wanting to listen to another one of her books. So I already have one downloaded. But yeah, that's literally my March reading wrapped up. I hope you guys liked listening to this. Like I said, watch my next video for my April hopefuls and watch my Fourth Wing reading vlog videos. That's going to be exciting. And tell me if you guys have read any of these. Tell me if you've read Just Friends, what your opinion is on it. And tell me what you guys think should be on my April hopefuls list. I have yet to film it. I have yet to pick up my books. So it's going to be exciting. But I think I have an idea of what series I want to go into next. And it may or may not be romantasy. So we will see about that. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching.